Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we take a look at the Curzon Street number 2 viaduct or Bellingham Bridge as it continues its slide, and it's now actually, I think, on the left hand side slightly over the railway. I think that isn't just perspective, I think it actually is, and we can see a lot of workers on the decking section on the right hand side, which extends further. This is looking over how massive the bridge is. It's over 4,500 tonnes and it'll be the largest bridge move in the UK, possibly ever, I think. We're looking over there. There's Dudleston Junction in the back in front of that freight train, or behind the freight train even. But looking back over here, we can see that the decking sections where the end of it once was is now firmly in the middle of the viaduct, and it's now reached actually the next support on that right hand side as we look at it, and this is the railway line that it's going to pass over. There is a railway closure from the 29th to the 31st, I believe, of May, where they're going to push it over the railway track, so we don't expect that to move anymore until then, unless if they can change that closure deadline, those closure dates. So that's when that's going to be. I will have a video covering that, obviously. It's quite an exciting time, and we can see that the viaduct support on the other side isn't totally finished yet. So although the decking section on the top is the quickest and easiest part to do, they're not ready to move it across yet anyway. I also quickly just want to mention our Discord. We have over 30 people in there now talking about all the recent documentation updates, sort of planning permissions, road closures, and some people have been talking about my videos in there, and there's lots of other HS2 videos that aren't even from me in the channel. In the various Discord channels, so please do join. It's getting pretty active in there, and I'm hoping we can have quite a good discussion about all the related HS2 news, and you can also reach me easier through there than the YouTube comments. So yeah, please do join. Right, now we can get into where the video usually starts anyway. We can see the new crane is fully built now, as it was yesterday. And we can see roughly where it's going to be positioned for the time being. It's going to be down this end of the site. We can see more and more scaffolding appearing on that binding layer. So there's obviously a structure going to be built on top of that concrete on the left hand side. We can see a bit of progress on these piles here. Not fully not motoring ahead, but we can see that they're making substantial progress on the ones on the right that were already more developed. Today I noted that it was the tower crane's main job of lifting this formwork into place to match the one on the right hand side. This is an area where there's going to be higher loads on the site compared to the decking section. That's why it's built in a slightly different process, and there is well, we're looking over at the decking section now, but there was a second piece which we'll focus on in a moment that the tower crane was lifting into position towards the end of the video, or at least after the video. I like to stay around for 10 minutes and just watch what's going on. Gives me a better perspective of what is actually happening on the site. Sometimes it can be quite hard to notice things on these videos when I'm filming. We can see there's an excavator started on the right hand side to obviously unveil the next section of these piles. That'll be the last section on this area. There's 2 piles just peeking out, but they haven't been uncovered yet. We can see some more rebar finished or taking shape on the right hand side section, and they've also now poured the concrete on that final pile cap over to the far left hand side, although it still has the concrete mould around it and will have for a good couple of days. They've now also finished all the backfill on the left-hand side of these pile caps here, and they've now poured all the concrete on the right-hand side here. I have noticed an increase in activity over on this top of the site in recent days. I'm actually, just give me one moment, I'm going to pull up something to give me a reference. So this is over by the western concourse, where that will be, and these red parts are obviously where the larger sort of piers on the outside of the building are going to be, the larger foundations, as they're a lot stronger than a normal pile cap. We can see they've poured some concrete on this left hand side, and they will eventually, I'm guessing, extend that down the whole way across the right hand side. This is a lot more concrete than it looks like, so it's good to see that's progressing. We can see a guy still jet washing those piles, the uncut piles on the right hand side. Looking over towards this storage area, this is going to be the station square, and there's also going to be a link here into Moore Street, also I'm told, just to connect the two stations. It does make sense with the proximity of them both. Flying over Moore Street now. We're going to go down towards the tram tracks as we always do. I want to take this stage to say thank you all massively for the recent support. It is very much noted by me. We are going to continue to try and grow the channel. Makes it more feasible to do daily uploads, so please do subscribe. Even if you think it doesn't matter, it really does, and it's free to do so. So thank you very much for doing so. It just helps me reach new people and hopefully get a community that watches every day. We can see now that they have installed the steel bits of the track that go horizontally the whole way down now. The track's taken shape really quickly. By the end of May, it wouldn't surprise me if they've almost completely finished with this section. They've built the whole of they've filled it all in and built the road around it. Maybe that's a little bit ambitious, but I can see them making a lot of progress. They do also work Saturday mornings all across the HS2 area, including the tram workers. You can see it's now properly fenced off. It hasn't been in previous days. That's down by Bellingham coach station. And we're going to fly back along the route the tram will take. That building on the right hand side is the BBC regional headquarters. It's undergoing a 15-month fit out of all the tech that's needed to sort of make a like a TV show, all the TV shows and radio stations that they need from there. So we'll cover that, but there's not much going on the outside. You can see that concrete pump, that concrete machine with there's a concrete truck behind it full of concrete mixer, and they're pouring the concrete into this section of rebar to make the pile cap. We can just about see the rebar left, but that will be sort of gone tomorrow probably, or by the end of today, when they've filled it up with concrete. Here we can see the progress again of the rebar in various sections of, well, in this main section. This is a huge section with there's going to be a large structure here. I'm guessing this is going to be, it's too far down for the western concourse. It's just to the left of where the tram track's going to come in. So I'm not sure what's actually going to be here. I guess it's just a main part of the station. We can see them putting some of that decking around a certain area of that formwork area, and they're going to duplicate that ahead of it there. We can see there's rectangle bits of sort of decking being placed down, and here we can see what looks like, almost like, them concrete moulds that they put around everything. I'm not sure if they're ready to pour concrete on this area just yet, but they're definitely putting something around the outside to hold the structure of it together a bit more tightly. We can see on the right hand side as well, there's some of these thin concrete pours. People have told me what that is for. I think they're actually going to be hidden, but they're just general supports. And we can see that they haven't actually extended the decking today at all. We can see that they've poured the concrete on the right hand side now, and they're getting ready to get this next section ready to pour concrete over this, but they haven't started yet, and eventually concrete will cover all of this, even on the left hand side. We're looking over at the storage area where they make the formwork for the that they pour concrete into. We can see that triangle section some people pointed out yesterday. This is what I was looking for if I've been a bit quiet. The red and white umbrella things that they hang themselves off when working at height are called free falcons. We'll get another look at that in a moment. There wasn't too much change to those pile caps down the bottom of the site anyway. So looks like they're taking their time on that. Eventually these scaffolding sections will be worked on, and they'll look identical to the other ones on the other side of the canal. You can see a canal passing through. It's interesting to see the completely different ends of the transport spectrum. You got HS2 and then also canal boats. There's a couple of people working down here today by the viaduct supports. They might be getting ready to start on here, although I think there's also a truck on the left hand side delivering something to this area, so activity is picking up again over here. I think they're going to be waiting until Bellingham Bridge has been moved. I call it Bellingham Bridge, some people hate it. Obviously, as it's football related, it is Curzon number 2 Viaduct, as we can see there. We can see there's a lot of scaffolding starting around this nearest one, the large V-shaped concrete pier. A lot of decking and scaffolding being built around it. Maybe the start of one of those iron bits that go in the middle that the actual viaduct, or the viaduct will sit on top of. Maybe they'll make that into like a square that we've seen on other sections, a bit like we can see there in the middle of the screen. And we can see it on the other side on the other viaduct supports as well. And there again we can see more footage of just how many people are working on that area. I don't know if it has to lock it in, if they have like teeth on it that it can lock into. Obviously making sure that it locks in place. Looking over at all that freight over there on the right hand side, massive amounts move throughout Birmingham. It's got to go over that railway line. As I mentioned, there will be a 3-day closure, the 29th to the 31st, and they're going to push it over this railway. I will have a video on the 29th and then also again on the 31st. I am somewhere on the 30th, but they often move these bridges a lot faster than they say they're going to when they close it. So even late on the 29th, they might nearly be finished. Obviously, as we've seen from yesterday and today, they can move it pretty quickly. Then cut just to come over and look at the rest of the site again from the other angle, as we always do. Millennium Point on the right with a very nice area, a grass area over there, like a park, just outside the front of the university. It's quite nice to sit there, especially when it's a bit warmer. It's been so on and off the weather the last few days. It's been raining and then sunny again. It was freezing yesterday doing it. Again, not much has happened down this side of the site with these pile caps. That roller hasn't even moved. This is again the taxi area, where the taxi rank's going to be. The eastern concourse is going to be on top of here. You can see some formwork where they're pouring the concrete into. They're only doing half at once. And we can see them building another one of the formworks, or cleaning actually. That looks like they're reusing one that's been used before. On the ground, getting ready to do the next one. We can also see the tower crane getting ready to pick up this next section of false work with those screwdriver-like things that I called them, pushed throughout it, holding it together. They're used to basically set the height that they're going to be at, that the false work's going to be at. Here's a bit of a closer look at the rebar being placed on top of these piles. Another look at this massive crane. People mentioned something about U-beams being delivered to site. This crane can carry up to 300 tons, which is a bit of a fun fact. Looking over at the offices again. Lots of students sit on those sort of staggered stairs. There's now actually a concrete mixer down here, which is, I think, the first time we've seen this. So they're obviously getting ready to fill this dirt section in and make it a usable area and office space. So that's good to see. Well, thank you all for watching again. It is much appreciated. Please do like and subscribe. If I get to sort of 5,000 subscribers one day, that would be amazing. And thank you all very much.